Good morning, afternoon or evening, depending on what time of day you're watching this, or indeed whereabouts in the world you are. I'm Mod.
I'm 4040.
And we are back with Kerbal Space Program, and we are doing the PvP series again, sir.
Yeah, I like it. Cool.
PvP series, 25 flights in progress. My map screen's going to lag horrendously now, isn't it?
Should be fine.
Yeah, he says. Let's have a look at the tracking station and see what you've done since last time.
Well, if you remember...
Moving nice and smoothly today, yay!
Yeah. I mean, since we last flew, which is when you put a mission in orbit around the sun, Mr. Nightshade has had his setup go.
Where are we? We're at Tuxedos, small sensory unit. Have I got one missing? No, they're there, it's okay. Sorry, you were talking.
So, Mr. Nightshade had his setup go, and basically has claimed Mimus for his own. Yeah, Mimus has just got Nightshade stuff on it. I think he's got a combat vessel, and he's got a couple of stations and a couple of probes and things, so, you know, he's got himself wedged in tight there. He also, on the way past the Mimus, managed to throw a couple of things around the Mun. And then, once everybody's set up, it was my go again, yay! And I managed to fly a mission out to the Mun and carried a little payload for yourself as well.
Yep, speaking of which, that's it? No? That's
no,
Cracks.
It's orbit around the middle. It's a middle orbit.
Oh, hello, Nightshade. You happen to be on a slightly similar orbit to myself?
Yeah. I think the idea is that he could get close to you and then, I don't know, maybe mistake you as an asteroid and accidentally mine you.
What a rude person. I haven't got anything better to say for that one. There we go. That's the small utility sensor that we had last time.
Yep.
If I click on view on that, just show people on my channel what that looks like, is that going to be an issue? Does that count as a launch?
No, it doesn't count. It's all good.
So if we load that up then and show people what we've got here. 4040 was very kind in the last mission and allowed me to attach this to a spare slot on one of his craft. Spin it around. If I alter it, then it counts as doing something, right?
Yeah, if you start like opening panels and stuff like that, there's a reason. That's why I put a little nuclear engine on it, so that you didn't have to worry about opening the solar panels and stuff.
So good. So here we are. This is a manned mission, as it were. It's going to connect with the space station at some point, but we don't have enough in space at the moment to make that an option, I don't think. So I think we're going to have to go to the launch pad and put something else up in space, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to look at that, am I? Because it's got P on it.
You're technically within 3 kilometers, so you should be able to switch to it, but I should double check the rules.
Please do, before we drift out of range, because I'd very much like to show people what that looks like. Because it's a very aesthetically pleasing craft, if that's what I think it is.
Digging through the paperwork.
We like paperwork here. Yes, we do, boys and girls.
You need to be within 30 kilometers to be able to look at it.
30.
30. That's the effective range of your like high definition cameras on board and like zoom lenses and stuff. So yeah, you should be able to. If you can go and view it, but you're not allowed to touch anything to do with it. Like basically hands off the controls.
Just like we just did then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Although I couldn't switch to it using the bracket keys for some reason.
No, you've got to be really close to that.
Yeah.
So now you've ascertained that you're close enough to view it, you can then open it up, have a look at it. Yep, press fly, and then just don't touch anything.
No touchy. No touchy.
That's the only rule. But this counts as your craft's sensors being able to lock onto it.
Can I close that window?
Yes, you're allowed to close that window.
Oh, nothing done. Okay, let's have a look at this ship here. So, talk us through this one, 40.
This is one of my 2nd generation interceptors. the classification of his interceptor is basically a ship that's got a modest amount of firepower, is fairly well armoured, and has a lot of fuel, so it's designed to stay on station before or after missions. If you notice on the back, it's got a very high fuel economy nuclear engine and lots of fuel, but it also has 2 other engines either side of it in case I need an extra bit of oomph quickly.
Can never go wrong with a bit of oomph.
But currently this is loaded with a anti-small craft, which is the 3 prongy bits on the front, and anti-capital, which are the 2 large pointy things at the side. So those, it's equipped to deal with any situation, but it's not equipped to be a specialist to deal with any specific situation. Jack of all trades kind of thing.
And on that note, we shall not touch that ship any further.
Yep.
And just to remind everybody, we have a ship in orbit around Kerbin, and a station, sorry, in orbit around Kerbin, and
have a station, yeah.
And a station in orbit around the Mun.
The Mun, which means that you can launch a proper manned mission or vessel into orbit around Kerbin or the Mun. For example, if you want to do something with Minmus, you would have to send a satellite there first, thus technically wasting your Visco. But if you're going to send a satellite there as one mission, you might as well send something with fuck tons of satellites so that Nightshade can't take them all out in one go.
This is true. This is very true. And I'm thinking, do I build something to extend the station? You said basically work on a launcher to begin with, and our basic launcher, if I find that now. Aurora Beacon, that was the one, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, Aurora Beacon. That's your station.
Oh, loading. Loading!
It's thinking about it.
There we go, that was a pretty standard launcher-ish. Lots of power.
Yep. That standard launcher is good for something that's like that. It's fairly small, it's in line, it's fairly compact. If you actually want to build a vehicle or a shuttle of some kind, I suggest that if you look at your launcher, you know you've got the central pole straight down the middle.
Yep.
Effectively, remove the entire central pole. Your central pole becomes the craft, and then you build the rockets and power and thrust devices around it in a kind of cradle.
Okay.
Because if you don't, and you just put a big shuttle-y thing on the tip of a very long rocket, you're going to end up with some major stability issues, and you're never going to be able to get it off the ground. It'll just do backflips all day long every day. As funny as that is to watch, it can become a little bit annoying if you're trying to do something specific.
Yes. And I'm actually sat here drawing a blank. I've had about a week to think about what to do, and now we've come to the crunch. I've gone blank!
Well,
I had all sorts of plans and they've all gone bye-bye.
Let's put it this way. If you build a utility vehicle which has hard points that you can attach gear to, you have the option of then going, right, I want to upgrade my station. So you load the hard points with different modules that you want to attach to your station, or I want to go there, I want to deploy a couple of satellites, I want to send a mission down onto the surface. So, you know, the different hard points, as long as they kind of weight-wise kind of match up, you can take lots of different modules. If that makes any sense. So you end up with like a shuttle that can take lots of things up and carry stuff. And or those hard points should easily be able to be converted into personal defense systems. There we go.
Weapons.
Yeah. Just in case shit gets real. But it probably would be useful for your space program to have some kind of shuttle technology to be able to quickly deploy things.
So go on, sorry.
Unless you want to carry on going along with like bespoke rockets, but I would have thought your organisation would quickly run out of money if you kept making bespoke rockets for specific things.
It's entirely possible, but we are all about research, and that's where our grants come from.
Yep. Yep.
So we'll start with a new design then?
Yeah, that's if you want to build a shuttle. You don't have to. If you want to just send up some extra parts to the station, then you can just swap the middle bit of that out for something else.
Trying to think what
or a
could
few
actually...
other things, and have a tug, a little tiny little tug which just runs on RCS to get them all docked.
Trying to think what I could do to the station now, actually. I mean, we've got the central pod there.
Yep. We're gonna have at some point soon a Kerbal docking to it, so you might want to have like some living space for the Kerbal, or research equipment, so you can send up a pod which has got lots of science devices attached to it.
And on that note, I think I've got us a plan. Oh wait,
Ooh.
no, that wasn't good.
Yeah, best put that back.
Right, we need to. I think we'll start a new one. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
We'll start a new one.
Okay. So what's the idea? New rocket or new shuttle?
We'll have the shuttle that can dock onto the station, I think, with living quarters. So
Okay.
we'll be wanting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you want to use some of the pods that look like airplane pods? Like, I mean, there's one on the top on the right-hand side. That one's quite a shiny pod, and it has got space at the front for you to mount different things as well. If you want to go nose on.
Oh yes.
If you put like a covered docking port right on its nose.
Sounds like a plan. So we'll worry
It's
about
the
that
right
first
side.
then.
Yeah.
Is it structural? Am I being thick?
It's in utility, I believe.
I knew it as being thick.
You want the covered docking port, so it's nice and smooth.
That one?
Yeah. That doesn't look bad, does it?
It's alright, yeah.
Okay. Can you quickly swap back to the pods? Because I just want to look up what the pod that we've got is called.
Mark II.
It's the Mark II. So if we go to the structural section now,
Oh, this is a B9
we're looking
part,
for
isn't
the
it?
Mark II section of all the items. So that's the HL stuff, so that's not going to fit. There are adapters to make things bigger or smaller if you want bigger stuff or not, it's up to you. But we've got a Mark II section. There you go, Mark II stuff. So you've got RCS, you've got fuel tanks. See, that one's literally just liquid fuel, so that's an air fuel tank for an airplane.
Mm-hmm. And we
But
want rocket fuel, don't we?
Yeah. There's like crew pods as well, I think, so you can carry crew up with you.
Crew pods? Where? Where?
There should be crew pods.
I found the RCS tank anyway. We'll have one of them for a start.
Yep. If you're going to be docking, you probably want quite a large amount of RCS because mech jeb, and as pilots we probably use quite a lot. But then again, there's RCS you can attach to the outside of it, so you know. It's probably better. It's always better to make a squatter craft with bits coming off its sides because it will turn a lot easier than making a very long craft.
Very true. Besides, I'm planning this bit just to be a usable in-space stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you said there's a hitchhiker type cargo capsule for the MK2? Maybe? S2, S2, S2...
There might not be. There might not be for that specific one. I know there are cargo ones, but there's adapters as well, as you can see. So if there's like an S2, if you go back, there's S2 adapters, which means you can suddenly have a really big body behind that cockpit, so you can carry lots of fuel, or you can have like a cargo bay that opens. Although that's not so useful because you can only put tiny things inside of them, even the biggest one.
Don't mind me. Silly noise is always awesome. Like that one. Oh, that's too big.
Yeah, the wide body ones are like extra large variants.
Right, let's get back on target. S2 we don't want. MK2.
See, that's the back end of it. That's got space for 3 engines.
Always handy.
Yep. Or 2 engines. Is that the right one? Did you just put the one with just liquid fuel in? You did as well.
I did.
Oh, I'm glad I saw you that one.
That one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So it's got space for 2 engines on the back. It's up to you what you want to put on the back. This thing doesn't really need tailplanes or anything really, because it's not actually going to fly. It's basically just a rocket. How big I mean, if this one's just going to be going through space, wouldn't something similar in economy to a nuclear engine work better for you?
I'm just looking at these engines and thinking, oh my god, what do we actually have here? But nuclear can work. I'm happy with nuclear.
Yeah, they're nice and inexpensive. Now, here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to create mounting points for hard points and stuff, which means you're going to need to position next to it, either side of it. Like, can you get, if you grab 2 structural pieces, you know the flat pieces? The ones that just don't have any aerodynamics, they're massive. They're a bit too big to what I've got in my mind.
2 meter ones?
Yeah, if go on, just put them on anyway.
Where? Anywhere in particular?
Put them on as if you were making a very flat, weird looking wing. So just put one above each other, attached to the cockpit. Third fuselage, I mean.
There we go, that'll do.
Yep. And then the idea is you mirror that, and then on the edge of that,
there we go. And on the edge of that, yeah.
on the edge of that, you put either another just completely round fuel tank, or some kind of hard point that you can mount things on, pointing forward.
Oh, I see what you're trying to get me to do now, Mr. 4040.
I mean, those panels are a bit big for what I really had in mind, but you get the idea though, yeah?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to get me to do here. You're trying to get me to build weapons.
I believe that the bit the engines are attached to also is cross-flow capable and actually carries its own fuel too.
I didn't think that actually had any fuel in it, that's why I've put the fuel lines from there to there.
And I think, emphasis on the word I think, maybe that the thing that those 2 outer ones is attached to, the actual plate itself, the structural piece, is also fuel cross-flow capable, I believe. Maybe, possibly. They generally are. Yeah, it is.
So we don't need the pipes then?
I don't know. Tell you what, try it. Put it on the launch pad, turn it on, see if it starts draining fuel from them or not.
Let's give this a name.
Okay. Because fuel tanks only really spit fuel out the bottom of them, don't they? So you might need to run a very small fuel line from the fuel tank onto the armoured panel. Maybe. We'll find out in a second. And then what I usually do is on the tips of those fuel tanks I put just standard docking ports.
Yes.
So that not only are docking ports really good at like attaching stuff to, but you can like recouple stuff on once you run a mission if you want to bring something back.
No fuel in that one, definitely fuel in that one. Fuel is not draining from these outer tanks.
Okay, so it might need fuel lines. I know those armour pieces are fuel cross-flow capable, but yeah, the way that fuel tanks work is they only spit fuel out the arse of them, don't they? Unless you've got a fuel line there. So it might be worthwhile putting a very small fuel line from the tank onto the piece of armoury stuff.
It's very stable, it's not going anywhere. I'm pressing all the buttons, look down here, and it's just not going.
Well, it's because you've got no additional, like,
control surfaces?
RCS or control surfaces or SAS or anything like that. You've only got the cockpit.
I would have thought I'd get at least a bit of reaction wheel rollage, torque from the reaction wheels.
They do have torque, so don't get me wrong, they do have torque, but probably not enough to fight against gravity at this point.
Revert to vehicle assembly.
So some fuel lineage needs to happen somewhere, but I'm not sure if you can get away with just sticking the fuel lines onto those pieces of... or whether you have to stick the fuel lines all the way into the middle. Also, that fuel burnt out rather quickly.
So from there to there... Oh, wait. No!
From there to there, give that it's unconnected itself. Give that a go. Just go from the fuel tank there onto the armor block piece, then give that a go. See if it works.
What about from there to there?
It might then work. Give it a try. It. That'll definitely work.
Let us see now, Monsieur 4040.
That will definitely work. It should pull them from the outside tank.
Yep. And yep.
Okay. Now you can. These armor plates are mod version stuff. So they're part of. Let me think now. B9 Aerospace.
Yep.
I believe that these flat panels you can directly attach on any part of them. So if you want to have a couple of more of those things on the outside, you can actually kind of set them up so they're kind of in a little diamond formation. Okay, so you're going to have 4 of them?
For aesthetics. This is just aesthetics now.
Won't they collide a little bit once they're deployed with the solar panels and cause a bit of issue?
Maybe.
In that place, anyway.
They'll be alright. Solar panels can twist and turn and keep out of the way. That's fine.
Okay.
Trust me, I'm a mod. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, so apart from payloads for specific missions, I think you've got yourself a little craft. It's very underpowered, so you need something to get this into an orbit or get this to a planet. That's not going to be able to lift off.
Now I know.
But MechJeb will tell you how long.
Oh!
Whoa! What was that?
I just showed bricks then.
Relaunch? Just whatever that was. That looked like a glitch because that blew up immediately. It didn't even load figures. It didn't even load the physics. It just went pop.
Fucking hell, 4040. I just showed bricks then.
Why is that in midair? What's going on? What the what?
I don't know. I have
it's
a
like
plan.
It's disassembled your ship and then put it back together again.
I was expecting it to just...
What? What's going on? I don't... Where? Oh, he just deleted everything. No, he didn't. Turn your mirror off. There you go. Right, that's going to go up. Blunt nose. You're going to need to reinforce it, obviously. It's going to have reinforcing going to the cockpit. Just hold it flat. But, as this goes up through the air, having a flat object just going, it's going to cause shit. So what I suggest you do is you get a decoupler. Preferably one of the flat ones, which is further in the middle of the list. It's in utility and it's kind of in the non-standard parts. No, structural, what am I talking about? Right, don't go too far. Go back. Okay, at the top, one of those flat ones is the right size. Right, put it on. Flip it upside down. Flip it. Okay, put it on. That means when it decouples, it fires off with whatever you decoupled rather than staying behind. And then put a nose cone on that, and then there you go. And that when you deploy that, it could deploy it, get rid of its little nose cone, fire it off, and then it can be a tug, and you can like leave it docked with the station or whatever. And it also can be like
Oh wait, that one.
Yeah. So it can also be like a mobile RCS point as well to refuel from. If you can, do you want to put any? You're going to want to put RCS ports on the little thing, obviously.
Yes, just about to say that.
Top and bottom.
Normal ones?
Yeah, just normal ones. It depends how big a thing you want to pull along, really. And try and mark them as high as possible, really. You're not timesing 4, by the way.
Oh shit.
That'll do.
That's... Oh! There we go.
Okay. So that's basically a tug. It's got RCS, it's got compute controls, it's got a little SS module, it's got power generation, it's got batteries. You've got some spare space just above the batteries. Might I suggest putting a couple of the smaller RCS little poddy things on the outside? You can either go for the flat ones or the ones that look like little balls.
Oh, where the little flat ones? They're in control, aren't they?
Yeah, they're there. Would they fit? Do they fit? They'll fit. They're green. They'll go.
Holy shit.
That is a tug. And then that would stay with the space station, so if you send anything to the space station, you can literally just decouple it near, and then the tug goes out, picks it up, brings it back to the space station, job done.
And we can modify that to maybe be a satellite, couldn't we? One that can move position.
Yeah, all you need to do is stick an aerial on it. It counts as a satellite if you stick an aerial on it, and that's it.
Bloody hell.
You can stick an aerial on it anyway. Put an aerial on it just for the roleplay fact of that it's like a little remote control thing, a majiggle.
Well, I thought I'd find out the fun way.
That's
I haven't had an
destroy
explanation
the
in a while.
aircraft straight off because the engines won't be able to cope with that weight. Come on, load physics. Load physics.
It's done.
Oh, I can
It's
see
done.
it's bobbling around, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not falling over. The engines are going to destroy themselves like that.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
No, that's
God.
the engines braking. It's not it. Because the engines were thrown underneath it. They skitter around, don't they?
That's still mostly intact, actually. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So, you've got a crew compartment. You've got a tug. What other things? And you might want to put like, you know how like Mir space station has got entire arms which are just lots of solar panels.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
I don't know, I've got plenty of solar panels at the moment. Oh. Go on, rolly.
Okay. Do you want to take a lander so you can land on the Moon's surface at some point?
Nah, we're going to build up Kerbin's space station at first.
Okay, extra fuel tanks maybe? Well, you've got two spare things, you kind of got to fill them up, otherwise it'll be unbalanced. You could take extra fuel tanks and just dock fuel tanks to the space station so it can be a refueling point.
That sounds like a solid plan.
You probably want small-ish fuel canisters, as opposed to really big ones. But you can use the non-standard ones, because they do look a bit prettier than the standard ones. So click again. And again. In the middle.
Wait, what's that one? It's too big.
Very big. See, that's half the size of the one that you've got on your spacecraft itself. And that will be just a simple case of if you just copy the docking port assembly above your little probe.
Then we could just copy the whole lot across, can't we? Big bad boom.
So when you let go of these and decouple them, the decouplers will get let go, but those things will very slowly, they'll eject, they'll drift away from you, so they won't hit you, but they will slowly drift in front of your cockpit and go off in the opposite angle. They won't go straight ahead. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's cool.
Anyway, we're going to build something. So we're going to we want a fairly a powerful yet economical engine. My choice will probably be the skipper engine. It's always my favourite for mid stage, if you know what I mean. And we want a decent amount of fuel because this has got to last us.
That one?
Yeah,
more.
They're pretty good. I like them. That's a pretty decent amount of power. And then you can. Its skipper engine is probably your best bet because it's fairly powerful.
Trying to find it.
It's a red engine. It's above the mainsail.
Oh yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Now that's going to be firing whenever. Okay. Now might I suggest before we carry on with the next stage of this construction, basically how we're going to do it is we're going to have 4 connectors coming off this, but you're going to place the connectors on the writing saying Kerbal Space Program.
Diesel?
Yep. You're going to place it on the writing and mirror it 4 times. Yep, that'll do.